Welcome to video 3, using probes for confirmation by Urban Forex. Alright, so in this video, what I'm going to be talking about is more about probes. Okay, probes come with many names. They can be called fake outs. They can be called stop hunting. They have all kinds of names around it. But what it is it is a false movement. So for example, if the markets are going up, they go down, and then they go up. So you have this little ledge of support equals resistance, right? Now, it looks like the market has gone higher, but if the market comes right back down, it's as if he never made a higher high from this. This area is called a probe. It artificially went up and came back down. So we are still within this area, okay? So that's what a probe is. In terms of a range, you can do something like this, and then you can say the markets were going up and down, up and down, up and down. And when it went up, it looked like it was leaving, but it came back down. That also is a probe or a fake out or a false movement. Okay? So where this comes in handy, is around your money spots. Okay, this comes very in handy around money spots. It's good to know this in general, but where it comes in handy is going to be in your money spot. So let me show you of how the money spot looks on your trigger time frame. Okay, so what I personally do is I go down one more time frame and I try to see if I can time it absolutely perfectly, depending on how much time I have available. If I am busy, I won't care for it. I'll just keep a wider stop loss. But if I have time, I will go for the accurate hunt. Okay, so what that means is, let's take a look at this example. Let's assume you are looking at this for Euro USD, and Euro USD is telling you US dollar is weak. USD is weak fundamentally, and Euro is strong. Okay? So if USD is weak fundamentally and Euro is strong, the chart should be going upwards. So let's assume you're on this day now. Okay, you're on this day. The market, here's Asia's open. Okay, and here's Asia's close, because this is where London opens. So that's the high of Asia, and that's the low of Asia. Okay, the high and low of Asia. Now, in this process, you're like, I want to buy this, but I can't buy it because the markets are getting way too messy and aggressive. So at what point can I buy this? There is a trick to power. Okay, there is a trick to power. One of the tricks to power, okay, as of right now, what do you know when it comes to power? If it breaks Asia above, the power is to the north. If it breaks Asia to below, the power is to the south. If it breaks London to the north, the power is to the north. Like, if it breaks the previous session north or south, you get the idea. But what if it does a probe? What does that mean? So in this case, if this is the lowest point of Asia and it goes through it, but it doesn't stay below it, what does that mean? Okay, I want to tell you something. Sometimes you will have a market that will be just like this. The high is there, the low is there. It'll do this, up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. Then the next market will open, and it will do this, up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, and he never breaks anything. That is a no-go trade. You cannot trade that day for you. I am now telling you, you now have an actual fixated answer on the days you're not supposed to trade. Okay? So out goes those days of, yeah, but how do you know when I should not trade? Well, that's your answer. Okay? So on those type of days, you stand aside. Okay? Now, in this particular case, the markets actually went lower, hung around a little bit, and came right back in. What this does is it activates momentum in the market. Okay, this little probe down here, or here, what that did was it activated the market. That activation caused many people to sell and buy because here it goes. Okay? So having that said, because you have the fundamental backing saying you want to buy this, once that activation went to the sell side, you're like, oh, that's not good. But the moment it recovered and it went back up very, very strong, you're like, oh, that's a lot better. Okay, I know I can trade this without markets going above Asia and me waiting to trade in this area. I can actually trade it a lot sooner. Okay, I can actually trade it a lot sooner because the activity has started. Okay, so in this particular case, there's that one area where the probe can come in handy. The second time the probe can come in handy is here. Okay, so once it starts going up, you're like, whoa, okay, so it's gone. This was a big, large meal he did on its way down. Okay, nothing happened since here. People don't turn into buyers yet. But right here, he digested 80-90% of the meal. Like, wow. Okay, great. Let's give him his chance to go down. He goes down, unable to make a lower low. And we're like, okay, tell me more. Tell me more. We're getting interested. And as he goes up, he doesn't stop for a money spot in the SNR area. In fact, he digests the whole thing. He goes through it completely. We're like, uh-oh. Okay, where is my big boy? Come on, where are you? Where is that big boy? Okay, and here he shows up going sideways. That is your ultimate or last final chance before the train takes off. Okay, I'm not saying just because he goes higher, you have to just chase it and keep buying it. You will always see a sign of a big boy getting interested and piling on. Okay, so what that means is in this area, what I do, okay, so this is what, let me circle this area. Okay, all right, let me go into, what is this, October 29th. Let me see if I can pull this up. October 29th. Okay, sorry. On the 3-minute chart, let's see if it comes up. No. Sorry. Okay, what this area, I'm going to draw it for you. Okay, what this area is, okay, this sideways movement is going to look like this. The markets are going to go up. The markets are going to go down, up. During these money spots, if you go one time frame lower, you will always see this activation of boing, boing. Okay, this little probe is basically going to be a confirmation sign of, here we go. That was the last attempt for the larger players to let go of the gas. Why let go? Think about it. Once they let go of the gas, this, okay, if this is a money spot, if this is a nice clear money spot, just think about it. Okay, so let me do it like this. There's a seller, okay, here, and this big uptrend here. Okay, there's that seller, pulls back, sells again, and then here starts generating the money spot, okay? So it's like this. So they're thinking it's a sell, right? And you want to, do this, you want to buy to join the big boys trend again. But they're looking at this as a sell, correct? In this little range here, what's going to happen is at the last minute on the lower time frame, it will try to do one last probe. That one last probe is going to give these sellers confidence by allowing more people to jump in. Okay? That is the one last gasp of last orders. Here we go. And when they grab any of those last orders, smart traders and larger players, they dump in all the buy orders, and it unfortunately grabs everything it can and it just lifts off. Okay, now it's the battle against the smart versus the big boy. Okay, the retail traders are not even in this game. It's just now the big boys against the smart players. That's all it is. That's why the prices cannot hang around here. It just propels because the people who know already have an idea of what's going on, so they pile in with as much money as possible, which causes the prices to rise. but there's no sellers. That's why all the orders are causing, I'll take it, I'll take it, I'll take it. Come on, someone give me some sells, I'll take it, I'll take it. And the prices keep rising because of that. Okay, so you will always see this little last minute probe. Okay, this happens around 80% of the time. You won't always see it, but you will generally see a probe like that show up before it actually takes off. Okay, this happens a lot in money spots. So the other time a probe can be useful is during the activation of the market. So this was, for example, the low of where'd it go? Here. The low of Asia was there. The high of Asia was there. London opens, London goes below it and comes right back inside. We're like, whoa, what's going on? Okay, if it comes right back inside, that means the activity had started. Notice how the volume also, once this London kicked in, started going higher and stabilized a lot higher. Okay, the activity rose a lot more. Not just from the London session itself, but just in general, everyone started piling in, okay, thinking that, oh, here it goes, including smart money. Even smart money gets trapped down there. So don't think of it as it's always retail money. It's also big boys against big boys, countless times. Okay, they're the real opponents for these guys. Okay, so now we've come to the end of the 7th week. Okay, you got one more week to go. You've been doing really, really well. I want you to now, in this week, if you get a chance, try to recap all the lessons. And try to understand it. What you should not be doing is trying to make a checklist. What you should not be doing is trying to put this into okay, I do this first, then I do this, then I do this, then I do that, then I do that. I want you to understand each piece, each lesson that I've taught you as if you are only learning that and nothing else. And then I want you to connect the puzzle. Okay? Because what's going to happen is the market will not come the same style every single day. It will come with a slightly twist and turn. But if you have a very rigid mentality, you won't be able to adapt. You want to be able to adapt, just like how you adapt when you're driving, right? In the beginning, when you were driving, you're so rigid, right? You're looking at the line, your rear view mirror, your side mirrors, your brakes, your both of your legs are probably on the brake and the accelerator, and you're holding the steering wheel with two hands. You're so rigid, right? Even though the road is completely empty. But then once you understand all the pieces, okay, when you need to look, when you need to do that, once you get the hang of all of that, then suddenly you're driving while playing Angry Birds on your iPad, reading a newspaper and drinking coffee, and driving through high-speed racing. You've become a lot better and crazier with time. But it's a good thing. So you need to rely on, don't try to force your brain to become a child, but rather give the benefit of the doubt that your brain is a lot smarter than you think. Don't try to give it A plus B plus C is equal to C. Okay, good brain. Remember that. No. It's a lot smarter than that. Let it handle it itself. I want you to just study the lessons on its own and let the brain do the rest. The brain will connect the dots itself. Okay? They will connect the dots itself. It's like how people become prejudiced against other people. You don't train it to do that. It automatically does it. It's what it does. It's what it's supposed to do. It's how it survives. Okay? So I want you to let go, to try to force your brain to learn something and let it adapt itself from the lessons you've learned, and you will be a really good trader. Okay? I've got you to this far, haven't I? I have not failed you. I've got you this far. I'm going to take you a lot further. Okay? This MP 2.0 journey that you've taken so far, it's the tip of the iceberg. I've just shown you how to join the big boys. Okay, we're not even talking about the stuff that's coming up in the Iconic Trader program about how to be the big boy. How do you trade 5 figures, 6 figures in a single trade? But right now, the goal is to get you off the ground, started, making some money, so you have the ability to decide whether this is a full-time career for you or you want to still continue to do it on the side just to make some extra money. That is a choice completely up to you. Okay? But you have to be geared and ready with the right mindset. Okay? So please review all the lessons up until week 7. As we go into the next week, what we're going to do is we're going to play around a little bit with complete trades. Okay? You've already been seeing full trades of mine on the live trade example area where I'm showing you all the little pieces that connect from week to week on how that trade happened. But we'll try to take it a little bit deeper into next week where we go into more explanations, more in-depth dialogue on that. So you're doing great. Okay, I want you to pat yourself on the back. You're doing great. You got up to this far. As much I've been trying to keep my promise to keep all these videos short week after week, I'm sorry if I'm slightly breaking that promise and I'm making them a little bit longer. But I had to grab your attention by saying, don't worry, it's gonna be short. But some things I just need a few more minutes extra to explain to you to get you the right information. Okay. So the objective is still the same, to try to make you a profitable trader as fast as possible, okay? While at the same time making you smarter and more aware of how the markets operate. Cheers, guys. I'll see you guys next week.